Hi, this is Jonathan Kutsavatsky for Dalet MEDIATalks. We're here at NAB 2018 with Penny Westlake from Interra. Penny, tell us about yourself.
I work for Interra Systems. I'm the director of the European operation. We are a specialist company in many ways. We specialize in quality control and analytics within the professional and broadcast space, specializing in video and audio, as you can imagine. And what we do is we provide the analysis and quality right through from content acquisition, right through to output, either to mobile phones and all of those things, or possibly over the traditional transport stream output. But specializing in quality control, we have to integrate with just about all of the integrated systems out there, including Dalet.
Well, what new are you showing at NAB this year?
Well, we've got quite a lot new on our Baton product, which is mainly within the file-based domain. One of the things we have implemented is the vast IAB specification, which just recently came out, related to targeted advertising. We've produced a white paper on that. We've added to the number of quality checks that can be done, from things as simple as impulsive noise and things like that to very detailed stuff, to some of the bigger things like increasing our IMF exposure, and also things like HDR, where various standards have moved forward. Because obviously with QC, if any new standard comes out, we have to be right up against it very, very quickly, because people are going to want to test what they've got.
So let's talk about IMF a little bit. How is Baton and an orchestration system important for an IMF workflow?
Well, obviously IMF, well, just to take one example, IMF in terms of packaging and things like this, you may have an overview, but you may have, say, a number of different language versions that are coming from the same master CPL or something like that. And within orchestration systems, you have to deal with that sort of thing. But also within quality control, we might use our subtitle language detection to check that the metadata matches with what is actually in the video. Because there may be something in the metadata that says maybe an ISO code or something like that that says it's Spanish, but in actuality what's on the file is English. And so that kind of information can be reported back, usually via XML or similar, into an orchestration system, at which point the orchestration system can do all sorts of things with it.
We'll talk a bit about the integration of Dalet and Interra. How does it work? What kind of integration does the two systems have together?
Okay, well, Dalet have implemented the Baton API. Baton comes with a full API. Previously, we were offering XML, RPC, and SOAP as an option, but coming very, very soon is also a RESTful API, which has opened up an awful lot of possibilities. Essentially, the API enables Dalet to integrate the workflow aspects of what's going on. Baton does have its own logic in-house, but when working with an orchestration system such as Dalet, it might be that different triggers are used, it might be that different actions are triggered depending on, say, the result of a test. It may be that Baton has reported that there are some video dropouts or maybe some pixels that need attention, in which case an editor might need to be told that there's a problem. With a different kind of file conformance problem, it may require that Dalet control some transcoding or retranscoding. So depending on the error and depending on how detailed the implementation of the API is, in Dalet's case, you've got a pretty detailed and very sophisticated integration. You can do very, very different things.
So in production workflow, we heard that Adobe Premiere is releasing a new AI service called Sensei, which does auto correction, auto color correction, etc. Can you describe some kind of AI services that you're offering, or things that you're doing that will help the production workflow so that people can focus on just the creative aspects and not so much on the back-end tasks?
Oh, okay. I mean, at the moment, Baton offers an automated QC system that is very, very comprehensive. Obviously, you can choose how many tests you turn on and how much machine work you do. We have some specific, I would say machine learning rather than AI at this point. Some specific tests in there, such as the audio language detection that we offer. This enables us to, essentially, we've used machine learning to teach the algorithm to recognize different languages. Obviously you have to do quite a lot of work with that because you have to recognize dialect, you have to recognize young people, old people, those sort of things. So the machine learning enables the algorithm to get smarter and smarter as time goes on, and we add more and more languages and so on. That training inevitably takes time. You have to be quite careful about what you put in, because put garbage in, you'll get garbage out with any of these things. And that applies with machine learning, AI, whatever. So that was the first thing we did, and we started that sort of program about 2 years ago. We've moved on from that, and there are some very, very new things coming. Some of them we're not going to talk about until IBC later this year in 2018. But there are opportunities to work with our partners, such as Dalet, to integrate systems so that a lot more of the back-end work is done, and the creatives are presented with, okay, here's the problem, this is what it is, this is how you fix it. But the ultimate creative decision is left with the humans.
Dalet's offering a lot of our solutions in the cloud now, meaning we can fully automate a workflow where the media gets uploaded via S3 to the cloud and gets processed. What are Baton's cloud capabilities in such an orchestration workflow in the cloud?
Baton is essentially a software license. It can pretty much be put on any PC or Mac. We don't really mind if that's in the cloud, or whether it's in a private cloud data center, or whether it's on premise. Most of our customers actually at the moment have a combination of those things. We do have the ability now, which we've offered, to extend licenses for our existing customers to cover peaks and troughs in their usage. You know, typically a big sport event might require a vastly increased ability to do QC, so we've made it much, much easier for people to do temporary expansions of the system. It's not, we haven't released fully cloud native type operations at the moment because we really haven't quite seen a big demand for that. Certainly not with the larger operations. And of course we also have external clients who are offering that as a service. So we provide maintenance to those people who are offering a SaaS service.
Talking about our partnership, can you talk about how Dalet and Baton work together as partners, not so much on the technology side, but as partners in the market itself?
Well, we very much like to have a good relationship at global level with all of our partners, but also I think it's extremely useful to have very, very local partnerships. Most of our customer base like to know the face and the people who know their system, who know what they're trying to do on their particular site. So at Interra we very much regionalize, and typically I will work with, say, Dalet Italia on Italian clients, maybe Dalet people in France, and we'll work at a very local level at the same time as we have this overall agreement globally about working together. But having that macro and micro level is very, very important. Thanks for inviting me along for Dalet Media Talks.
Thanks.